Hey people, Intro here, 2v2, Ancestors... Wait, what is it? Ancestors Legacy? No. Ancestors Rest, I think. Anyway, blue team is a Farseer and JamezNunes. Support hero fighting in melee with some powerful buffs and control. The same Han Elite scheme here, recolored into white and... what would you call that? Violet? Bluish, purplish? Alongside Captain Proton with a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control, already taking some bolter fire. Seeloss on the red team with a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support fighting in melee. Begins with a Refractor Shield, Armageddon Steel Legion elite scheme here. And nucka4ya rounds off the teams with a Force Commander. Very strong offense fighting in melee combat. Kind of a tank, disrupt and support. Good old Blood Ravens with the Diomedes head. I think it's a good Space Marine head over there. These Chaos Space Marines being shot up already. I'm pretty sure it is Ancestors Rest. It's a nice 2v2 map. I believe this was a collaboration between Adilla and Swift. I'm not sure what each person did. These Chaos Space Marines are getting themselves into huge amounts of trouble. What are they doing? They're trying to melee the Guardsmen, but they're running into Kraken Bolts, Tactical Marines, Double Guardsmen, Lord Commissar, Force Commander. Losing 2 models, that's 132 requisition to reinforce those fellas. 66 each. Bad start for those Chaos Space Marines. Bad start for Captain Proton. Now the Sorcerer is running into trouble. Needs to back away. Double Guardians into Howling Banshees for JamezNunes. Into some Rangers. Double Tax for nucka4ya and triple Guardsmen for Seeloss. Red team are going to grab that central contested victory point. All the victory points are quite close together actually. A Manticore could do some really good work on this map if it was kept safe, of course. Got a contested power node very close to the VP. That'll probably never see generators, but if you can node it and hold it, it will add up. Howling Banshees trying to approach the mid. There's a lot of stuff to shoot at them here. Tactical Marines are just leaving though. But look at those double Guardsmen, las guns weighing in. There's another one coming in. Yeah, Banshees couldn't really approach very well. Sorcerer runs. It's a good start for the red team. A couple of heretics dying. The Chaos Space Marines now have Eternal War to turn and shoot that Force Commander. It's double CSM for Captain Proton. If you get double CSM with double Eternal War, they could do some really nice damage to a single entity hero in tier 1. Shoot down that Force Commander. You can't tie up both of them. But with double Kraken Bolt Tactical Marines, could be dicey. Doom Bolts could swing that engagement, of course. And the heretics. They could draw some fire as they run in. Lots of stuff could happen in that fight. Lord Commissar. Oh, now with a power sword chasing down the Chaos Space Marines. These guys have been in it already, these fellas. Are they going to drop a model here? The second Chaos Space Marine squad is indeed immediately getting Eternal War. 20% more damage in melee and ranged combat. Really adds up on 2 squads. Heretics going to Doom Blast and run, I think. Oh no, Doom Blast and tried to get to the attacks. That was a bad move, but they do get away. I don't think I've seen a Doom Bolts yet. They have been kind of diligently keeping to cover here at nucka4ya, which does cut down the effectiveness of the Doom Bolts quite a lot. Double CSM in play though. They can shoot down the scouts really quickly if they weren't in cover. There's the Doom Bolts. Just as I said, they were diligently staying to cover. We saw 2 attacks out of cover there. Doom Bolts wasn't a full one though. Those CSM getting quite low, and Captain Proton is kind of locked in and around their base. Their natural power got capped. Although, JamezNunes is doing some great work on the northwest, grabbing that natural power of the red team. Heretics with an aspiring champion now. Survived slightly longer as they ran into double tack, bolt gunfire, and a Force Commander battle crying, which just increases their damage even more. Here's a big old flank though from Howling Banshees, killing the Force Commander. Those power weapons are a massive threat to these Marines and low-level heroes, especially catching stuff on retreats. Big old whoops, says nucka4ya. I mean, there's not a huge amount you could do about that, other than being super diligent and trying to keep something on lookout, maybe the scouts, and keeping an eye on the minimap and that kind of stuff. So I guess there are things you can do about it. But yeah, sometimes it just happens in Dawn of War 2. You just get flanked and you've got to take the hit. Catachans on the field for Seeloss. Very versatile squad with infiltration when they're idle, disruption and some support. Can even put down some improvised explosives and stuff, which I'm sure we'll see a bunch of in the mid there. Warlock tying up some guardsmen. Banshees on the prowl, double guardians backing them up. Banshees fleeting in. And there's the war shout. Big special attack too, chopping up the guardsmen. Guardsmen have no place trying to fight Howling Banshees. And down goes the Lord Commissar. Banshees very, very dangerous early on. Have taken down 2 heroes. And got stuck into a bunch of squads. There's the Rangers.
Trust in your guidance.
They have their Pathfinder gear. They are snipers with some support abilities. Can infiltrate allies and disrupt from long range. They can also... Can't they put down a little... like a little thing that provides vision. I can't remember what they call it, and I rarely seem to see them used. From what I've noticed anyway. Doom bolts on double tacks. Wasn't a full one again. Need more energy to fire off a full Doom bolts. Oh, there was one. There was one right there, just as I said that. Banshees getting wrecked and shotgun blasted. And die. They die, the Banshees. They were doing so well. They ran into a huge wall of fire there. Someone will let me know in the comments what that ranger thing is called. And exactly what it does. I think it gives you keen sight in a radius, so it will detect infiltrated units and things like that. But I'm not sure exactly the mechanics. As I said, you see it so little. Force Commander level 3 with the Artificer armor. Double CSM in heavy cover. Well, one of them is. Scouts are behind them, but they don't do a lot of damage with their bolt guns. These CSM caught out of cover. Force Commander's after them. Special attack is wasted. Force Commander lost the indicator for them, unfortunately. They are taking ranger shots. Need to be careful. Lord Commissar now shows up with that power sword. And lead by example. Almost level 2. So very nearly level 2. Gets some knockdowns on the Farseer, then runs away. All the while, the scouts getting this damage in with their bolt guns. Though CSM did drop a model. A frantic end to tier 2. Well, Sealos is still in tier 1. They are floating like a lot. There we go. Tier 2 started. Tactical Marines are going to get their sergeant over there for nucka4ya. Might be turned into Stern Guard Doom Bolts. They are in cover, but it still would have been painful. Heretics chasing them off. No shotgun. Oh, shotgun scouts are on the way. Never mind. 405 to 438. Now they're ready to shotgun blast those heretics if they approach. Just going to Doom Blast and run, and then they get caught by the all-reliable grenade launcher of those catechins. Some long-range disruption from those fellas. CSM take the mid. 2-1 for blue team. Heretics are very low. Need to be very careful. Doom Blast and run. Sorcerer, can he get a Doom Bolts? Nope, that was a good target there for the Doom Bolts, I think. Levels up to 2 though. CSM in trouble. Taking some hits from the Force Commander, but looks like they've survived it. Looks like they have survived it. Rangers in the north. Still, this power is blue. Guardsmen trying to get it back, but they were outnumbered and outmuscled. And I needed a swig of water. Back to the mid. Gonna turn red, I think. CSM in heavy cover. Tactical Marines in heavy cover. Popping their Kraken bolts. Gives them 20% more damage to heavy infantry. Which is what Chaos Space Marines are. And there's Dragonfire rounds coming in. Good anti-cover ammo type, which you don't see used that often. Typically, players can't be bothered to switch to the anti-cover stuff. Need to switch to their Kraken bolts now to shoot them out of cover more effectively. Ogren's on the way for Sealos, so maybe we'll see the Aura of Discipline. And a Chaos Dreadnought for Captain Proton. JamezNunes already has a Warp Spider squad out in tier 2. And as we've seen, nucka4ya getting the Stern Guard up, which are a tier 2 unit, limited to 1, can change their ammo to combat all targets using acidic Hellfire rounds against those heretics, because they're light infantry, and a Sacred Standard Force Commander's in play now, but a constant damage buff, making those Hellfire rounds do unseemly things to those heretics in the mid. Warp Spiders teleporting in and tying up some guardsmen for the Guardians to do their work. They have their Warlock fella in there. finally tapping back their power. And here's some Ogrins, some muscle in the Imperial Guard army now. Getting their bonehead leader. These guys have Ripper guns, dealing actually pretty good range DPS. But once they get into melee, they will smack you with said guns and rip apart anything. And it can be buffed a lot and supported a lot by the Lord Commissar. Got lead by example at the moment for that inspiring special attack. 405 to 408 on the VPs. Chaos Dreadnought and its default loadout. Autocannon and mean looking claw thing. Oh hey, double Marker Zinch CSM now. Massive threat to the heavy and super heavy infantry, such as the Marines, the Stern Guard, and as Ogrins. Ogrins are super heavy, so they can shrug off piercing damage. They have some resistance to it. But once they start getting plasma and inferno weapons and melter weapons, they'll take big chunks. Plasma gun tax as well, though. 405 to 390. Force Commander's gone for the Chainsword and Storm Shield. Nice counter to this double Marker Zinch CSM. Doom bolts flying in. Did not pop the defend there. Look at the damage they're taking. Not sure why they didn't pop it. They still haven't popped it. 405 to 383. Force Commander's trying to get after those CSM, I think. But the tax got wrecked. Lucky to get away with 2 models, I think. Ogrin stepping in, tearing apart the heretics, and down they go. They will also tear apart this Dreadnought. Kinetic Pulse knocks them back. Force Commander being diligent and tying up the CSM. Still hasn't used the defend. I think he didn't use it because they didn't want to slow themselves down, kind of thing. If that's the case, why have the Chainsword and Storm Shield? It does give the Force Commander passive buffs. He loses his sidearm but does get more health and more range damage resistance passively, even if he's not using defend. Wraith Lord up now for JamezNunes. And I guess the Ogrins could put pressure on it, but it does have melee resistance. Will do a lot of damage to the Ogrins. Oh, here we go. Anti-armor stormtroopers to go after it. There's the melter bomb. Can they not shoot their guns, the other fellas, while he's throwing the melter bomb? I guess not. Didn't seem like it there. Oh, that guy's having a bad day. Chokeslam. Wraith Lord chokeslam on that sergeant. That's one of the Guardsman squads finished. Vengeance round Stern Guard now getting some good shots. Warp Spiders could tie them up in melee maybe. And here's those CSM again. More heretics for Captain Proton. The Dreadnought did get back to safety. Level 2 in fact. And did do some decent work with that autocannon. Meanwhile, towards the north, they have again stolen this power. JamezNunes did a great job putting pressure on it. Farseer has no war gear, by the way. And I don't see Aura of Discipline for the Lord Commissar, at least not yet. Warp Spiders flee. Farseer flees, and they're going to get their power back. You can see this webway here, making it very easy for JamezNunes to get back on that power and harass it. Has it even had gens on it yet? I'm not sure. This one's been relatively safe, I think. I'm not sure if the blue team's powers have been hit. We did see this one capped by nucka4ya early on. Looks like it's going to be harassed right now, though. Going after the node are those shotgun scouts. Heretics repairing the Chaos Dreadnought. And Sorcerer, level 3 with Rod of Warp Fire and Vestments of the Warp. Infiltrated Wraith Lord, thanks to those Rangers. There's Kinetic Pulse again. And a good special. Melter Bomb comes in. Sorcerer teleports in. Nicely done to tie up those Stormtroopers so they can't fire those melter guns. Got a good special too, and a Doom Bolts. That was good Sorcerer play there. Got in and cleared house a bit. And the Wraith Lord survives. It might not have survived if that Sorcerer didn't teleport in there. Something that JamezNunes can do, of course, with the Warp Spiders if they're around. I don't think they were around for that, though. There's the defend. Are they buffing the mines with defend here? I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's very odd. They have the defend aura on them. They are now damage resistant mines. Fair enough. Fire Prism on the way for JamezNunes, the first player to get to tier 3. And they had a Wraith Lord out. It's not that they skipped tier 2. Warp Spiders as well. upgraded and stuff, I think. Yep. Have the Exarch and the Aspect. Stormtroopers run away. Ogrins were coming in though, which is a big threat. Farseer could get the Levitation, Gravity Blade maybe. Or just a Doombringer to put some pressure on him. Wraithlord gets some more repairs. Does not yet have a shoulder-mounted weapon. Might be waiting to see a vehicle to get a Bright Lance. Here's the Fire Prism. Long-range fire support with Disruption. It is pretty fragile for a tier 3 vehicle though. 500 hit points out the gate, need to be careful. Rangers able to spot these mines, so they're being shot down here. This one is clinging to life somehow, right underneath the VP, and these were dropped by the Lord Commissar. One of his global abilities. Global abilities is to drop mines. It's pretty handy. Kicking off in the south, looks like a double push by the red team. Doom bolts, pretty good Doom bolts, but those tacks had Andation and no fear up, did they? Or maybe it was just defend. Maybe it was both. Force Commander leading the line well with that shield. Look at this push. This is huge. You see JamezNunes trying to react. Down goes the Sorcerer. And I think the Dreadnought is done for. No. Captain Proton, with very quick thinking there, repurchased his Sorcerer, which took them back to base, and then used Warp to get the Dreadnought back to safety. Very quick thinking. And they saved it. Here's the Wraithlord. There's a big time field. That is huge value. Huge value. The Farseer's armor of the Surian, given that time field ability, slowing down all that stuff and making it unable to attack. It's an awesome ability to have. There it is. Also gives you 200 health and health regen, but it is quite expensive. Wraithlord is very low. Wraithlord's going to go down. Did a lot of work in that fight, but does go down to Stone God veterans and their Vengeance rounds. Terminators in play for nucka4ya. Does not get the Assault Terminators, gets the regular fellas. And they're going to take a lot of damage from the double Marco CSM. Was it a smart play to get these Terminators? They have double Marco CSM. They have a Sorcerer who immediately goes for Tome of Subjugation, having spotted those Terminators. Also have a Farseer that can Levitation them, maybe, and just Doombringer them and buff things. We'll see how those Terminators fare. They could be in for a world of hurt. And a Seer Council on the way now for JamezNunes. They will mess those Terminators up. How is this doing? Oh, we've got some gens up over here. Rangers doing some decapping. Rangers have quietly been pretty awesome in this game, I think. Haven't really been put under huge amounts of pressure from what I've seen. Got some good shots, some good disruptions. Sorcerer's level 3 here. Blue team retain the mid, but here comes a Lord Commissar to put an end to that. Trying to decap. Oh, Farseer. Sorry, Fire Prism. Shoots him in the face. None of the indicators are up for the red team heroes now. Great. Puts the Refractor Shield up, but stops capping. Oh, weird. Could have got a decap there. I don't know why he stopped capping. Maybe just a little misclick or something. The Terminators have an Assault Cannon. Can target the Eldar infantry, kill them very quickly, and get a bunch of inspiration, which will just stack with the Sacred Standard. 405 to 267. I wonder if Proton is tempted to make that Dreadnought Mark of Khorne, because it's level 2 now, and he does have the Warp to get it out of trouble. CSM getting a bit close. There's no cover to use in the middle now, really. There's the Subjugation on the Terminators. Uses their teleport. Is going to drag them back into trouble here. The Dreadnought should tie them up, I think, maybe. Although they do have Power Fists, I suppose. Yeah, Marco CSM out of position there. Captain Proton a little bit sloppy. Did well to mess with the Terminators, but should have kept the CSM in a safe place to shoot at them. From behind some cover, ideally, if there was any. As it stands, Terminators weren't actually that threatened in the end. Some guardsmen falling over dead. Where's that Seer Council? Oh, they're bashing power using the webway, I guess. 405 to 262. There's the Melter. But the Dreadnought survives, I think. Farseer fell down. So they're both down now. Both the blue team heroes. And the Terminator's done a great job so far. Tons of damage to the Eldar stuff. Is this a summoning circle? Or is that Chaos Terminators? Oh, it's Chaos Terminators for Captain Proton. And Lightning Claws on the way. That's going to be a very, very harsh surprise for the Ogrins as they try to chase them down. Double Markers CSM did enough damage to scare them off. And there was a Doom Blast to suppress them. There's those Lightning Claws. Now all of the infantry must fear them. And alongside the Seer Council, with that Seer Council passive ranged damage resistance aura, they're going to be awesome. If they can keep up with the Seer Council, that is. Hey, hey! Mark of Khorne Dreadnought on the way for Captain Proton. And a Land Raider Redeemer on the way for nucka4ya. It is being repaired. Turns it into a full-on melee walker with the Blood Rage ability, which is awesome. Does it tell me exactly what Blood Rage does? No, it doesn't. Exactly what the stats are. It makes it more resistant, faster, and do more damage, but you lose control. I'm not sure exactly what the buffs are, though. 380 to 247. Grenade on the Terminators. They're too slow to dodge it, and it took out the generator. Well done, fellas. What level are you guys? Level 3 and level 2. Sorcerer almost level 4. Does have a lot of abilities to use now, this guy, so leveling up, getting the energy up is a big deal for him. Not sure how much Subjugate costs to use. It must be at least 60 though. It's got Warp Fire, it's got the Teleports, it's got the Doom Bolts. 380 to 226. I always thought Tzeentch Worship should give you some energy regeneration or something. But I guess Infiltration fits the Tzeentch stuff pretty well. Hitting the power a bit. This Fire Prism's really far forward. Picking off in the mid. Land Raider Redeemer is here. Terminator's taking huge amounts of damage. That's an Eldritch though. Chaos Terminator's having to teleport out. They took a beating there. Stunned the Land Raider. Nothing really here to follow it up. We now have Bullgrins on the field. Ogrins switched to Bullgrins, but they're being chopped up by the Mark of Khorne Dreadnought. Did the Stormtroopers just wipe as well? Maybe. Haywire Grenade on the Land Raider now. Providing a reinforcement aura for all of this stuff. They can retreat back to it as well. So the Bullgrins retreat back to it here. Are they reinforcing though, the Bullgrins? I don't see another model coming up. I don't think they've been ordered to reinforce, unless they just don't have the resources to do it. The Mark of Khorne Dreadnought getting stuck in. Might need to be warped out, and is indeed warped out. Awesome pressure from the blue team. Are they overextending a bit here though? Rangers are capping the mid. I think those CSM should back off. Yeah, they are backing off. Vipers are doing great work. Massive nuke bait there. I guess Proton didn't have one of their own because they used the red to get the Terminators up. And oh, the Sorcerer is still level 3. Viperism's in great level 3 on this thing. Almost level 4 for those CSM, and we do have level 4 for those CSM. The Bullgrins getting the reinforcement now. nucka4ya, knowing they can just retreat back to the Land Raider, but you can't retreat the Terminators. They're now being subjugated and brought back into trouble. Now back in nucka4ya's control, but look at the damage on those level 4 Marco Tzeentch fellas. That's nuts. Defend comes in to help them. There's the teleport. Proton did not use the teleport. Maybe it was still on cooldown when he got control of them. Must have been, right? Or they would have used it. Now have a level 4 Sorcerer though. Those Bullgrins, what are they up? 2,400 hit points level 1, these guys. Super heavy infantry, and they get the use your shield ability to suppress nearby enemies and buff themselves up a bit with even more damage resistance and health regen. I think they get a passive damage resist from having these shields. I think it's 20% or something. I could be making things up though. Land Raider is fully repaired and back to the middle. I think JamezNunes, yeah, says I will have another Eldritch soon. Rocket run. Global nuke from Loss's Imperial Guard over there. Put some. The first run was pretty good. The second run didn't really hit super well. But they're grabbing the mid, the red team. User shield suppressing those CSMs. Sorcerer teleports out but still goes down. This could be dicey. They can't walk back the Dreadnought. They'll have to repurchase the Sorcerer to get him back to base again. Probably waiting for his price to come down a bit. Dreadnought doing really well against the Ogrins. Hits the Blood Rage. He turns around a bit for some reason. Stone Guard trying to do their thing with Vengeance rounds. Look at them just tearing through those Bullgrins. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Now it just backs off. And it might be able to. Not sure if the Stone Guard can chase it down. You know what? Maybe they can. Oh, there's Time Field to help out. Maybe Warp was on cooldown. Surprised the Sorcerer didn't rebuy and then Warp there. But in the end, I guess it didn't need to. They judged it well. Guardians on the central VP. But this Land Raider is providing so much in-field presence for the red team. Just fight, push hard, overextend, then retreat back to the Land Raider. JamezNunes almost has the red for another Eldritch Storm. I'm not sure what the cooldown is on the nukes, but I imagine they can use it by now. There's a D cannon, and that's a Singularity. Wipes out the Guardsman. Yes, no more Guardsmen to help repair that Land Raider, that's for sure. There's only a single Scout Squad now. The Heavy Weapon Squad can repair stuff. They've got an auto cannon. Sorcerer pushing. Oh, got Stubbornness. Did not get Aura of Discipline. Got Stubbornness instead. Could buff the hell out of that guy. Single cap for the red team. They have their natural, and look at this. The Force Commander is on blue team's natural, using the Fend to get it done. Oh, then runs away. I guess they were going to be knocked over with a Fire Prism. Lightning Claw Terminators. Chaos Terminators. More than a match for those Bullgrins. They can't stand against them. And they flee. Taking a whole lot of damage as they approach for those Terminators. Huge amounts. Having to teleport out, in fact. The Sorcerer is still down, by the way. Oh, they're both down. Farseer is down in the middle. Grenade and an Eldritch. Seemed to be a better hit that time, but again, is there anything to follow it up? The Fire Prism maybe, but that needs to be careful of the Bullgrins. They'll smack it to death with those power mauls they have. Oh, Imperial Abyss. Look at the damage to the Land Raider. That central mass is like 200 heavy melee DPS, I think. The Land Raider survives it, barely. Just needed something around to get some more damage in. Now it's the Scouts and the Heavy Weapon Squad repairing. 315 to 151. Loss down to 2 units. But blue team just unable to crack that Land Raider right now. Now it's getting repaired up. Avatar of Cain on the way for JamezNunes. Sorcerer gets revived, or self-revives, I should say. nucka4ya has tons of red. I wonder if they have their eye on more Terminators here. I mean, they could get Terminators and still do a nuke with the red they have. Maybe just spamming for the Emperor is the way. Look at the damage to that Sorcerer, holy crap. And that was with the Stone Guard using Vengeance rounds. Force Commander level 9 with the Fend, able to withstand double level 4 Marco Zinc CSM there. That's pretty awesome to see. Yeah, so big misplay from Captain Proton, isolating his own Sorcerer. If he was here, could have subjugated those Terminators, teleported them back, got them into huge amounts of trouble. But as it stands, the Sorcerer wasn't around to do that. Bullgrin's moving in again. The Mark of Khorne Dreadnought and the Lightning Claw Terminators will tear them apart though. Need to be careful. Maybe lucky to get away there. The Dreadnought seemed to stop attacking as they retreated. 266 to 151. Sea Loss got another heavy weapon squad up. That's a Singularity, I believe. Where are the Terminators? I guess they got out of there. There's the Singularity doing its thing. Yep, they did get out of there. Can the Dreadnought survive? The Sorcerer's here, so they can't warp it out. They are now retreating to maybe warp it out. It's going to go down. Did a hell of a lot of work, that guy. But did go down. Here's the Avatar with the Wailing Doom. Hit some of the Terminators at least. Bullgrin's trying to go after the Fire Prison. Farseer still down here. How good would that time field be here right about now? Maybe Proton can teleport on the Farseer and revive. There's an orbital from nucka4ya. Looks like it's been dodged completely, but did clear stuff out of there. Got the D-cannon away. Blue team still have the VP lead, of course. A pretty decent VP lead. Just under 100 VPs. Another Wailing Doom. Gets those guys to back off. Vengeance rounds are the ammo of choice against the Avatar with its super heavy infantry armor. This guy provides some awesome buffs to nearby units and is pretty powerful in combat itself. Be a big help for those Terminators potentially if you can get close to them. Sorcerer taking a bunch of damage, needs to be careful, needs to not be leading the line, needs to be sneaky and subjugating things. Might be worth subjugating those Bullgrins and turning them onto the Land Raider if they can get close enough. Lightning Claw Terminators soaking up huge amounts of damage again. Vengeance rounds, plasma gun attacks. Yeah. I'm not sure if the Avatar can even approach here. I mean, they're creating some space for the Cap, that's the thing. Wailing Doom gets a good hit. Avatar needs to back off though. See this blue aura here, this is the buff from the Avatar. Avatar makes it out. Looks like it took, did it take a las cannon shot? Is that what the other heavy weapon squad got? Yeah, it's got a las cannon. 243, 139, 2-1 now for the blue team. Fighting hard. Bullgrins are level 3. They've soaked up so much damage, these guys. The Land Raider's been amazing. The blue team are keeping the pressure up. I didn't notice the Seer Council go down, but it did go down. Just about to say, where are the Seer Council? And I don't see their little faces. Farseer's back to her feet, now has Runes of Reaping. Level 7, being knocked around by Lead by Example. And Emperor's Wrath is up for the Lord Commissar. There's Time Field, so she can escape. Fire Prison's level 4, it's been amazing. Where's that D-cannon? It's almost leveled. Avatar healing up at base, of course. And I was hoping for a Great Unclean One. For the spectacle, but we have a Chaos Predator up for Captain Proton now. 2-1 for red. Get the mid back. Lehman Russ now for Sea Loss. We might see some Assault Terminators or something from nucka4ya. Or they could drop another nuke. Maybe they just want another one of those Assault Cannon fellas. Look at the pile of bodies here. So many Bullgrin bodies around. There's so many models they've lost, and they're still trucking. That's the Emperor's Wrath off-map artillery. Well dodged, actually, by JamezNunes. Oh, the tank is almost down already. Getting las cannoned up. Barely makes it out. Lightning Claw Terminator trying to decap the mid. I think they're going to get it. They do. There's a good Imperial Abyss. Forces off a bunch of stuff. Terminators take a bunch of damage on it too. Bullgrins need to turn the other way. Ouch. Bullgrins might wipe here. I think the Bullgrins did wipe. Was a good nuke from Proton. And they get the Lehman Russ. Fire Prison doing some work. Look at this. They do. Demon Rust falls. That's a big win for the blue team. Another Fire Prism on the way for JamezNunes, and why not? This one's been amazing. The range really paying off here that the Fire Prism has. Doesn't it have like 75 range or something nuts like that? Avatar with a really good Wailing Doom. Creating space for the cap. Is something capping? Yes, they're going to get a triple here, the blue team. Awesomely done by JamezNunes. Getting the ranges around. Perfect timing to get the decap and the cap on red team's natural. Did the Predator get a mark? Yep, Mark of Corn. Heretics are where? They're running away. They need to repair that thing. JamezNunes does have Guardians that could repair it. Maybe there's a time field to annoy things, and now subjugated Terminators. But it wasn't able to stay there for long to keep it going, and now slides home. Oh, they're still subjugated, even though it's in retreat. Interesting. They've been teleported into trouble. GG, says JamezNunes. It's a double cap for the blue team. They might have it here. They stayed so solid in the face of a Land Raider and lots of threats. Sea losses, Demon Rust going down so quickly was a big blow. And that D, I feel like that D kind of did a huge amount of work as well. A couple of really good singularities, wiping out those guardsmen, of course. I mean, those guys could have had plasmas and stuff. Blue team are going to get it. Another orbital at the end. Maybe they could have got more Terminators up. nucka4ya. Oh, unfortunately, I can't get the UI to reappear once the game has ended, so we can't see what level those heroes were. But it was an awesome game. Superbly done. This Fire Prism MVP right here, whichever one it was. Huge amount of work. Awesome to see a long and competitive 2v2 on a very fun map. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.